Lifestyle Pirates with Big J and Adriano.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lifestyle Pirates. On today's show, we got the Ol'Bastards, Danny and Matt. Welcome to the show, boys.
G'day, guys.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Aloha.
Thank you very much for coming in. So, straight up, what's the buzz with men's grooming?
Mate.
Go for it, Matty. It's all yours.
Mate, men's group, well, look, I would say about as of 10 to 20 years ago, barbering was, that's where you go for a men's cut, pretty much. You go to the barber. You want a men's cut, you go to the barber. But then I think people started to get really pissed off and fed up that every time they went to the barbershop, they got the same bloody haircut. You've got a different head to, Danny, and you just got the same bloody haircut as Danny. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't suit you, but that's all the barber knows, really. There's no real certificate to be a barber. And I think people started getting the shit, so they pretty much started going to hairdressers. Yeah. Hairdressers learnt shape. Hairdressers learnt structure. They learnt face shape, hair types. So they got something tailored to their needs, pretty much. So then people started going to hairdressing salons, and the barbers started to die out, So the whole culture of going to a barbershop, having a chat, that just pretty much disappeared. Up until, I would say, that whole kind of 50s trend came back in. Yeah. And that's when barbers started to come back up again. So we started to see pretty much Europe. The trend was basically morphing hairdressing techniques and then adding the culture of the barber world, pretty much. So go into a barbershop, get a great haircut. They know about shape, they know about style, they know about structure, they know about hair type. And then also adding the culture of going into a barbershop and the banter. Yeah. And then adding, the culture, the fit out and everything to go with it. Yeah. And then it just sparked this massive wave of barbershops throughout the world, really.
So what got you, because you guys are brothers, aren't you?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So I want to come back to that as well.
I don't feel that way about him. For some reason, he feels that way about me.
Because I'm a good brother.
Yeah.
But where did you guys come to the idea of saying, okay, I mean, is it a family kind of trend that all of you guys have been in that styling industry?
Not at all.
Where did you guys come up with the idea of actually let's open up a barbershop?
Yeah, funny that. About 15 years ago, I started as a hairdresser in the CBD in Sydney. And to be fair, we never really did any men's hair because all the men that would come in, we were only allowed to use scissors. So it wasn't a thing where we'd actually pull out the clippers and say, oh, hey, guys, quick haircut, let's go do a buzz cut. And little bit by little bit, I started gaining a little bit more of a following when it came to men's haircuts with the scissors. And then when we actually left, Maddie and I, we started working from home. Naturally, because we went to an all-boys school, we'd started to get all the old boys, and we started cutting more and more men's hair. And we thought, hey, wait a second, we're actually not bad at this. And even though it wasn't something that we really focused on at the start, we kind of morphed into hairdresser barbers as opposed to just hairdressers.
So you were still doing women's haircut at that time as well?
We still do.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we still do. And little bit by little bit, we started to see that barbershops, all the ones that were actually opening up, and, you see the really cool fit outs and you see the beer and the whiskey and the wine and whatever. And we would go to these places just to check them out because they look fantastic.
We felt so threatened, though. When we started seeing these things pop up, we felt threatened. We were like, "Crap,
these guys are killing it."
It looks great. How are we going to compete?
So you guys were still working. So you were still in the salon in the CBD. You were doing cuts at home with mates, family, friends.
I had left. Actually, I left just before him,
right?
And he came straight and started actually working with me not too long after that. Actually,
yeah, I was in a really upmarket, female salon.
Yep.
And
then I followed probably about 6 months to a year after Danny left. Just working from home.
Thank God for that because it worked out really well. But what I was actually getting at was because we kept going to all these places and we were like, okay, wait, these places look phenomenal. But there was something missing. There was that customer service aspect of the hair salon that you just wouldn't get in the barbershop. And Maddie and I sat down, we had a chat and we're like, how about we just bloody morph the two together? How come we can't have a barbershop where you get a freaking great haircut but you also get a coffee. If you want a beer, you can get a beer. If you want a whiskey, you can get a whiskey. But also you get your hair washed like a hair salon. Also you get your hair styled like a hair salon. You can actually leave and actually go back to work and not feel like you're a filthy, minger for the rest of the 8 hours. You know what I mean?
The best part about it is when you go to a barbershop like 10, 15 years ago, you walk in, the guy doesn't know your name, doesn't know who you are, doesn't know what you do for work. He doesn't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? So the thing about hairdressers is, I'm sure you guys have heard it before, we're therapists.
Yeah.
So we know everything about everyone.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So someone walks in, we know his name, we know his dog's name, we know who he's dating, who he's not dating, and
I've got some secrets about Adrian.
Thanks, mate.
Everyone's got secrets about Adrian.
I reckon, mate.
No, it was just so I think it's that whole customer service was a big
So
part
what
of
drew
it.
you into hairdressing, guys?
I'll let Danny answer that.
Oh, I failed miserably at school.
Oh, we all did. Good schooling.
Yeah.
Your anger beer.
10,000 a year. It's a very good question. I got to the point where I had finished year 12, still had absolutely no idea what I was going to do, didn't know what I liked, had no direction in life, I didn't have a mentor. It was one of those things where, okay, what do I naturally feel comfortable in? And one thing that I always had a passion for was doing my own hair. As ridiculous as it sounds, how that could draw you into a career to cut other people's hair, I don't know. But I still like styling my own hair. I had an uncle, well, I still have that uncle, by the way. He said to me, he goes, I've got a mate in the city. He works in Pitt Street.
Haddad.
Yeah, Mr. Haddad. God rest his soul. He's actually passed away. He said, go down there. Let him interview you. If he likes you, you get the job. If he doesn't like you, tough titties, go get another job somewhere else.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm pretty stupid at everything else. I might as well go give it a crack.
Yeah.
Mate, I swear to you, I walked in there and from day one, I felt like that was it.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was meant to be. And I just felt comfortable. And I still remember you coming once or twice there. And it was just so surreal having your mates come to a salon that you worked at. Yeah. Even though I wasn't cutting your hair, it was still really cool to have people come there because you were there. Do you know what I mean? And I think that kind of grew that obsession with customer service and having people ask for you and request you. And it was a bit of a, that's probably a self-esteem thing. Who knows?
Oh, massive.
But
Good to feel wanted.
We're human, right? We're human. We like to feel accepted, and when people ask for you, it's a little bit of a confidence boost, a little bit of an ego boost, and that's pretty much where it stems from. And then I'll let Matt tell the story about how he fell into it. But
I had a very bad schooling life. Expelled twice, two different schools. I basically fell into it. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't like school. I didn't like pretty much learning about geography.
I'm his hero.
Yeah. Yeah, you're my hero. If that makes you feel good, you're my hero.
Thanks, mate.
All right. No, I didn't like school. I didn't like school at all. So I spent 82 hours a week on Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Nice.
Became very, very good at it.
That's good. Good game.
Basically, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was thinking about IT, and then Danny said, mate, just come and just try cut hair. Please do something with your life, please. Yeah. So he dragged me into the salon, and I was there on a Thursday, and it was a 13-hour shift, and walked in, and I was allowed to talk, which was nice, and I didn't do that at school. Allowed to talk. People were happy. People were coming in, drab, and then leaving just happy, and and I like that. I like that transformation and people's attitudes, and I pretty much stuck with it. Yeah, and we've learned to love it more and more as time goes on. Yeah, so it's good. It's good industry.
So from that and starting up in the backyard or in the back shed, whatever.
It was quite literally a shed.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah. So how long from that to handmade?
Mate, I think it was about 3 years, Matty. Yeah. Was it about 3 years?
Mate, I would say less.
Less?
Yeah.
Oh, not too much less.
Well, it depends. If you're talking about when I left.
I'm saying from when I was.
From when you? Yeah, it was probably
I would
about
say
3 years. Yeah.
It'd be 3 years. It was really interesting because we had absolutely no clientele, and just one by one, someone came
and word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth, and it just exploded, and it got to the point where we literally outgrew the shed. and we opened up Handmade, and from day dot, we were booked out.
Yeah.
That was it, and we have been ever since.
Yeah. That's
So,
fantastic.
Yeah, it's
I think, but we use that business model that we were just talking about earlier to open Handmade. So kind of, because we said, okay, well, we need to move out of this shed. What the hell do we do? And then all we knew was CBD. So there was this stigma around suburban hairdressers. So we're like, okay, we don't want to do that because suburban hairdressers are shit. We just don't want to be around them.
poor customer service.
There was just this
No
stigma.
care.
You know, you want a good haircut, you want good service, you go CBD.
Yeah.
Right. So we're like, okay, well, what do we do? And we're like, okay, well, there's nothing in the area, you know, and there's cafes opening all around us, and all these cafes that are doing bloody well are taking what people are doing in the inner city or the CBD, and they're bringing them out here because, you know, people spend, you know, a lot of time around the area, and we're seeing more and more people kind of, you know, wanting to spend more time, you know, closer to home and have services closer to home. So we're like, okay, well, let's do something that we would have done in the CBD in the middle of nowhere in Canterbury, and then just do it how we would if we were to open in, you know, Paddington or the inner city or something like that. So we did this awesome fit out and amazing branding for its time, and then we're just like, okay, let's just give them crazy service and make coffee and, you know, make it look like a cafe and have bifolds and open it up and have this great energy and all that sort of stuff that we do in the city, and let's just throw it in the middle of a freaking back street in Canterbury. So we did, and then it just caught on. You know, it's like, oh, did you see that new salon, great fit out. And I still to this day think that people are only coming to us because the fit out looked good
I
in the
agree.
beginning.
I actually agree.
It caught their eye. They're like, shit, that's a hot fit out. Caught their eye, and then they walked in, and then as soon as they saw us, two decent guys, you know,
One.
Oh, were you two not working?
one really, really good looking one mutt. And then, they just, I don't know, and we just got really, we just grew really, really quickly. And before we knew it, 3 months later, we needed a receptionist, and we were pretty much booked out 4 or 5 weeks in advance. And it just continued to grow.
So what's the secret sauce? So you said they're fit out. You said they're obviously customer service.
Yep.
I get the sense you guys have got the skill to cut hairs as well. What else is in that secret sauce?
Oh, I've got this. I think I've got this. We've actually got a checklist.
Okay.
We've got a checklist.
That's awesome.
Before we sign any lease or we look at any shop or before we do anything, if the shop doesn't meet a criteria, we will not look at it. It must tick boxes. It has to be able to have bifold windows. I know it sounds ridiculous, but number one, air, energy, exposure. People driving past, they can see you.
Yeah.
You don't see hair salons and barbershops with bifold windows. It doesn't exist. It's only cafes, right?
The amount of bloody accidents that have happened in front of Canterbury because people are looking in,
People
they're
are
not looking
looking
in front of us.
Same thing happens at B&B.
Bang.
Well,
Blade and barrel
that
as
is
well.
exactly right. And why else would you drive past and stop by a barbershop or a salon if it was all shut? It's uninviting.
Yeah.
Simple, very uninviting.
You don't notice it either.
You don't
It's
notice
just
it.
glass, so you can see the reflection on
Exactly.
your
So
car.
unless you get a recommendation, you're highly unlikely to go in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we thought, exposure. Number one, let's open it up. Let's get the energy in there. Let's get the air flowing. Let's have the music up. Let's create a culture and a vibe.
Yeah.
Okay. That's first thing. Second thing, the place generally has to be on the corner. Okay. Corners are super important because number one, you've got 2 ways of traffic.
Yeah.
You don't have just one way. Okay. Number one, exposure. Number 3, another thing, parking.
Yeah.
You have to have parking. Okay. We were chatting about Piermont, right?
Yeah.
There's very little parking.
Yeah.
But the only good thing about that is you've got so many high-rise apartments that people can walk to that actual spot. Places like Concord, you don't have that.
No.
So if we were in the middle of Majors Bay Road, you'd find it very difficult to find parking. So you've cut out half the people that want to come to you because they couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, it's true.
That alone is our secret sauce. And then you add in a little bit of customer service, a little bit of, just just genuine care, someone walks in, everybody turns around and says, "Hey, g'day, how you doing?" It's simple as that.
Yeah.
You don't get that at most places.
Yeah, you're right.
It's horrible. You know,
Something that's for free,
You're
people
giving
do it
me
wrong.
money.
Yeah.
You're giving me money.
It's funny because you kind of get that. You do get that experience when you go out for dinner.
Absolutely.
Or if you go to a coffee shop that you go to on a
100%.
regular basis. But you're right, you don't get that in a barbershop.
And that's
that.
exactly how we looked at it.
And you know, a lot of my mates, they get their hair cut every other week.
Yeah,
that seems to be a new trend as well. The frequency that men go and get looked after.
Oh, totally.
Have you seen that increase in your time in the industry?
Well, there's much worse looking people these days, so they need to be groomed much more regularly. So,
Present company excluded.
Well, think about it. I mean, the fades have only really come in for the past maybe 6 or 7 years, right? So if you're someone that gets a skin fade on the sides, you get stubble within two to 3 days. You shave your face, you like it clean shaven, you shave it again in 2 days.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the side
same
of the head.
concept. Absolutely. It needs to be done more regularly. Back in the day, you get a number 2 on the sides, it looks like a number 2 a couple of weeks later. So with a fade, and what a fade is, if whoever's listening doesn't know what a fade is, it's basically something that goes from a really short length and gradually gets longer as it goes to the top of the head. They don't last as long. The shorter you go, the more contrast it is. So if it grows after a day, you're going to notice it immediately. And that's something that we kind of exploited, really. We exploited it because we knew that people would want it more.
Oh, it was by design.
It was definitely by design.
So let's get into the kind of thesaurus of your world. What is I've just got a few styles here that I want to just.
I haven't heard of that dinosaur, by the way.
That's fine. What is a textured crop?
Ooh, a textured crop. Maddie, go
There
for
you
it.
go.
That's a textured crop.
That's a textured crop.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so basically...
You could never get that, John.
Let the record show I'm very disappointed by that.
Textured crop is pretty much long enough to have a little bit of hair to push kind of forward and to see texture.
Yep.
But you'd mainly wear it down.
Yep.
Down and forward.
Okay.
The old Caesar.
Yeah,
We've-
pretty much, yeah.
We've smashed the fade. We've smashed that fade thing.
Yep.
A Balbo beard.
Oh, what?
A Balbo beard.
No, is that Balboa?
Yeah.
Rocky?
Yeah.
No.
Mate, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Okay.
Where did you get your...
John's just made these up.
I got it from the Australian Barbers Association.
Oh, wow.
That's right. I'll come back
I
to
didn't
it.
even know we had one.
I'll come back to it. Yeah. The founder is a master barber, apparently. Like a master sommelier, you can be a master barber.
What's
So-
his name?
Oh, it's on my phone. My phone's off now. I'll get you the name.
Okay.
So, Matt,
Yeah, no.
before you mentioned that, barbers, there used to be someone who just gave the same haircut to everyone, and then the introduction of hairstyling, and then everyone shifting to that, and now coming back to barbers. So the barber's skill set now is completely different to what it used to be
100%.
15, 20 years ago.
100%.
Yeah.
See, what we see in barbering is you can either follow 2 types of barbering trends, right? Follow the US,
Yep.
okay, or follow the UK.
Yeah.
All right, your US barbers will make you look like Craig David.
Yeah.
Okay, they'll line you up. They'll take your hairline back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just fill me in.
And then you got to come back in 7 days.
and they'll fill you in. UK did it really well. They basically morphed hair. I reckon they're the creators. They morphed the hair.
Wouldn't it be Italians?
I think the Italians think that they create everything. But
No, that's the Greeks. But all
that
the
is the
products,
Greeks, yeah.
all the products
It
are
was definitely
are
Jersey
Italian.
Shore. Jersey Shore started everything. Yeah.
Loosely Italian.
Wow.
the Poms basically morphed hairdressing into barbering. They morphed the two together.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
In terms of skill set, another thing that we focus on that a lot of places, well, not a lot of, actually, the vast majority of barbershops do not focus on. See, they'll send their staff to TAFE, which is very, very brand new course. Okay, their barbers will get their accreditation. They'll come back. They'll cut hair. Ciao, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
We train our own staff. So they're not only learning barbering, they're learning aspects of hairdressing. They're learning how to use their scissors to
Yeah.
cut, not just the clippers.
Yeah.
So they're not just, we don't just piss them off the TAFE. They come back and they, all of a sudden
I cut hair.
within a year they cut hair, right?
Yeah.
Magically, you can cut hair and charge $40-50 for a haircut. It's not like that. It's not like that. Every single Tuesday, Maddie and I go in, we put a couple of hours into education with the boys, and we consistently do that, and we will consistently do that for as long as we have the shops. And that's that's how we get consistency.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you can't have someone come in, get a haircut, 3 weeks later come back and still get the same haircut. It's always going to differ if they don't have that skill set and they don't have that confidence.
So you guys have got handmade and you got blade and barrel.
Correct.
So the original concept obviously was handmade, and now you've got blade and barrel, right? What's made you change and do something different from just being handmade?
Mate, handmade salon, as you know, 8 years ago, Danny and I opened it up. Very focused on Danny and I. So we found ourselves working 57 hours a week. Couldn't leave, got home, slept, woke up, back to handmade salon. Built up a massive clientele. Everyone knew handmade salon, 2 brothers, Danny and Matt. Then Danny and I sat down and we thought, how the hell are we going to grow if all we do is cut hair all day, every bloody day? So we met a guy named Kerwin Ray, went to a 3-day convention, and we basically took everything that he taught us, and we sat down and we said, okay, we need to basically create a business that we are not a part of. We are not the faces of that business, and we need to basically do everything that we know that brought us to success with handmade. We need to do that with this new brand, but we can't associate ourselves with this brand. We just need to build a strong brand, great culture, and then basically hire amazing people for their attitude. And then I think we've got a little bit of a formula with that as well.
Yeah, we hire talent. We don't hire staff. So
we have had the
I've
best
never gotten the call.
We've had the best of the
You are
best
staff.
barbers. We've had the best of the best barbers come and trial with us, but their attitude is just shit.
Yeah.
And we've just said, no, it's not going to happen. So that shop now, you walk in, it's got its own feel, it's got its own culture. The guys have a sense of ownership as well. So they've created their own vibe. They don't get micromanaged. We work for them.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it is. We work for them. Anything that they need, training, whatever, we work for them. They've built their own culture. Because we've given them leadership, they basically go in and they do their job to the best of their ability. They're happy. We're not breathing down their necks. So Blade and Barrel was purely a business decision. It was basically, how can we create something that we can open 10 to 15 of and basically make it successful without us being there.
You happy with it?
I love it.
Yeah, same.
It is.
It's got a really good vibe. You guys have done a really good job.
Unbelievable.
I'm actually glad you like it because you're someone that I know this sounds really corny, but I've always kind of admired in a way because you've always gone for the best of everything. You've always done everything to the best of your ability. And for you to go into my shop and say that you like it, it actually means a lot.
I fucking love it.
It's really cool.
I love it.
What do you love about it?
Exactly what you said. So it does have its own culture, its own vibe, great whiskey menu as well. And the boys there are just so fucking lax. You can go in there, have a chat, and it is therapy. Like you go in there and go, all right, Nico, fuck, and you just unleash, you know. And we're both talking, and it's just a good vibe, you know. Curdy's next to Annie, you know, talking about football and, you know, good banter. And you got Ellie at the end who's now in the dungeon.
Yep. in the corner. With his strobe light.
Yeah, baby's in the corner.
Thank you, COVID.
But I've got a question. If we were breathing down those guys' neck, right? If we were breathing down their neck and then we were there every day micromanaging them and we were basically, you know, treating them like crap and we had an ego, do you think that the shop would be like that?
No, definitely. It wouldn't be the same. And I've noticed, like, that one time that I did see you in there, like you were just sitting in the corner and just having a chat with me.
Yeah.
Just letting the shop do its thing.
Mate,
it was really good to see.
they've got their own vibe going. Why should I go in there and ruin that?
Yeah, exactly right.
We said that to the boys. We said, put whatever music you want on. Talk about whatever you
about
want.
that. No.
Look, it comes down to customer service, convenience.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty much what it comes down to. If you take care of your clients, okay, and you run on time, all right, you get them in and they get seen as soon as they walk in or within that 5 to 10 minute, wait time, mate, they're going to come back. If they're getting a good product and it's convenient, they're going to come back.
And it's well priced as well.
I think it's well priced.
Funny you say
expensive.
that. It's something that we did miss. You can actually make appointments.
Yeah.
You can't do that at most barbershops.
Yeah.
And most people these days are on such strict timelines that you can't just sit there and wait 2-3 hours for a haircut. It's ridiculous. Okay, you know, we've got families, we've got jobs, we've got hobbies, we've got, you know, we play sport, we do everything. We can't just sit there and do that. You have to get in, get out.
Concord was very strategic.
Very.
So Concord was an area where we're like, okay, where can we open the first Blade and Barrel?
It was quite important, actually.
Very important. So I think that was like a make or break. But we thought, okay, there's a lot of young people in Concord, in that kind of area, very affluent area, cost minimum 1.8 to 2 million to buy an average house. Where the hell do these people go and get a haircut? And then we were just like, the only really close barbershop that's convenient to these people is Burwood. Who the hell wants to go to a shopping centre, park in a shopping centre, get out, wait 3 hours,
And be in Burwood.
be in Burwood,
Avoid that place like the plague.
wait 3 hours,
It
get
is a
in,
plague.
guy doesn't care about you, you know, butchers your hair
Yeah.
and you walk out. This guy's probably a business owner. He's, you know, probably got a family.
He's our avatar, by the way.
It's a weekend, so he probably wants to spend time with his family. So waiting 2 hours at the local barbershop is like, man, what the hell am I doing here? So
Yeah.
we're just like, all of these people around this area, they need convenience.
Yeah.
They don't shit time. So it's like Concord's the area. You know, they've got money. They know what they want. So, you know, let's do it.
You mentioned the first Blade and Barrel is going to be make or break. So is that a little secret? Is there more coming?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, I think our goal is one a year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Always in Sydney?
Not necessarily. We've spoken about that, but as long as Matthew and I are still on the tools at Handmade, then it will have to be in Sydney.
Yeah.
But the second
Understood.
second that we come off that, and we're able to travel and we can spread our time, then absolutely.
Just going back, what is make for you? What does that mean for you guys?
That's a very good question. Make is covering costs.
Right.
If you can cover your costs and you're not putting out of your pocket into a business, you've created a strong enough base that you can work off. Something that you can grow into something fairly good.
I feel like you're going to know if something's going to work.
You just
Within the first 3 months.
You just do.
Pretty much.
You just do.
Well, it's funny because you were talking there a minute ago about the customers and how you provide the very best for your customers. But what I got a sense from you is that you're providing the best for your staff as well. You know, you're kind of giving them ownership, you're giving them education, you're letting them make the place their own, and that will, influence the way things are done. But it will also come across to the clients. And the beautiful concept about the barbershop, and again, we spoke about it, it is therapy. You know, people go there because it's a safe space. They can have a glass of something, they can catch up, they see you every 2 weeks, you can pick up from where you last went off. And, if you're good at remembering stuff, which is obviously why you're here, you can go, how did you go with that deal, or how are things at home? You really have a safe space from the customer side of things, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Richard Branson said something. I think there was a quote he said, was it? I think it was take care. Clients don't come first. I think your staff come first. Take care of your staff, and they'll take care of their clients. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
It was pretty much put your staff first because they'll take care of their clients. So.
Yeah.
But we hear it all the time where normally if you review a restaurant or you review somewhere where you go out, it's normally because of the bad service, right?
Yeah.
And that's normally what leaves the bad taste in your mouth, unless it's really bad food. But that's normally the bit that people comment on. So if you're actually getting great service, then the rest does fall into place.
100%.
And actually on your growth phase, I mean, you guys obviously being brothers, you've probably got responsibilities outside of work. How do you guys must have had falling outs, you must have had arguments, how do you overcome that in that world and, just carry on with your vision?
I think it starts from our upbringing.
I think that's very true.
It always starts from your upbringing.
I agree with that.
What's your foundation at home? If your family hasn't brought you up to make you believe that your brother is your blood and he's everything and nothing should ever get in between you, then you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
That's the truth. People always say, oh, shit, it must be hard working with your brother. It is, but it's not hard because, we fight and argue all the time.
Yeah. It's also hard working with staff you don't like.
It's hard because he fucking pisses me off. He teases me all day. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, mate, just shut up.
You guys have always got each other's best interests.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
And always will. But
a crazy Greek man. What did he say?
I actually, do you remember Dean?
Papas?
Yeah.
His dad.
How did you know I was going to say that?
It's just Greek name.
Greek, Dean.
wow.
There's only like 4 to
Papas.
choose from.
Well, Dean's dad pulled me aside one day, and he's I hope
scary.
he's not listening, but he's a crazy
He's
bastard.
scary.
That guy. A highly successful man.
I'm gonna tag him in this.
Highly successful, and he pulled me aside and he goes, "Listen, all right, nothing gets in between you and your brother. Okay, nothing. No women, no people, no nothing.
I think this was just about before you were getting married.
Just before I actually referenced him in my wedding speech. I actually did, and it really stuck with me because the way that he said it, it made me feel like he had been through something with his own brother.
Yeah.
Okay, can't confirm anything, but it just felt like it.
Yeah.
And it felt like it had hurt him and it had cut him real deep. And I thought to myself, you know what? He's onto something.
Yeah.
You know, your brother is your brother. And if you can't get along with your brother, then who are you going to trust?
Yeah. No, look, I totally agree with you, having two brothers myself. So I'm totally in agreement with everything that you're saying in terms of your brother. So both of you guys been in the business together. Do you guys bring out the best in each other? Like, what's your strong points? What's your weaknesses? Is there a part where one's stronger than the other?
Completely.
One's more of an emotional wreck. I know the answers to these as well.
Why is everyone looking at me for?
He's actually kicking me under the table.
Absolutely. I think the key to any business is if you're not good at something, have someone beside you that's actually good at that.
Yeah.
Because you need to be well balanced as a team.
You got to both bring something to the table.
Completely.
You know,
I love starting things. I'm a very, 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 very strong starter. And after I start the creativity process, sometimes I lose a little bit of motivation if it doesn't happen straight away.
Yeah.
That's where Matt comes in. Matt just says, "Okay, well, fuck, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's grab the bull by its horns and just run." Okay, and that's where he takes off, and then I'm just sitting by and I'm watching him do his thing. And then it just becomes this amazing kind of product that we both conceived. And if it weren't for, say, him, it would have just still been in my brain. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to the very end of the whole process, then we both come together and we nail it. We really nail it.
What's crazy about something we do as well is we'll come up with an idea and then, or a concept or whatever, and then each day in the salon, we'll come into the salon and we'll before the salon even opens, we'll go into the back room and we'll make a coffee. And I thought of a brilliant idea last night. And then he'll shoot something at me and I'll be like, you know what? Good idea. And then basically throughout the whole day, I'll be thinking of ways that we can make this happen, ways of, we can even make it better than what we originally thought we could. And then all of these things lead to this one end product. And it's 6 months of thinking about great ideas and then just putting it into one big package. And
I've got to touch on that actually. One of the amazing things that we're super blessed with is because we see the same people every single week or every second week, they've really become our friends and like very good friends. So if we're ever bouncing ideas off each other, our clients are picking up on that and they're saying, "Hey, how about you try this?" Or "How about you try that?" Or "I don't like how that sounds," or "I like how that sounds." And then it gives us really good insight to what the customer wants, not what we think the customer wants.
It's an amazing resource.
we find ourselves asking very, very specific people though.
We do.
Yeah, of course.
In the shop.
You would.
Not meth addicts.
No, definitely not. Stay away
just
from them.
generally.
No.
So
They're
how
very,
do you-
very needy.
How do you stay focused then? Because it sounds like you're both very creative people. It sounds like you love the first part, but then get whipped up on the execution. So you almost go round again full circle.
Totally.
How do you focus on, I don't know, one or two or three things? Because typically when you're entrepreneurs and you've got all these ideas, you follow everything that's shiny. I work in sales and I love shiny things.
Totally.
How do you go, right, actually, we've got 10 ideas. We've been spitballing for an hour and a half. Here's the three. Or is that when you go to your customers?
That's a very, very, very good question. We suffered from that exact thing for such a long time where we would just we'd hop to the shiniest new thing, right? And we would never focus on that one thing and hone in and really let it flourish. We just wouldn't do it.
I think we've got to thank Kerwin Ray.
Kerwin, I was just
for
about
that
to say that. And that little 3-day
So is he a business mentor?
he's a business mentor. So he's from Australia. He's, for anyone who knows Gary V, he's like an Aussie Gary V.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. In fact, they actually know each other.
Swears just as much?
Worse.
Yeah.
Worse.
ADHD.
He's got ADHD. The guy's a complete maniac, but
Is that a new TV?
his work ethic is ridiculous.
Yeah.
His work ethic is ridiculous. He comes from a science background.
Yeah.
So everything that he teaches you when it comes to business, it's not just, because I learnt this. It's all science based. It's what makes people tick. Where's the science in their brain, the psychology behind what's making them tick, and that's where he really, I think, intrigued me, because I read quite a lot. Matt hates reading. I love reading, and that's where a lot of my inspiration comes from.
Yeah.
And that allows Matt to run off with it, right? And I think you're right, Matt. Kerwin, when we went to that 3-day convention, it was so pivotal for us, because we were like, oh, well, we're not focusing. We've got great ideas, but after 6 months, they're just bullshit. They literally are bullshit. We've got to hone in, knuckle down, stop doing this stupid fancy shit, this fancy dinners and buying fancy cars and buying fancy watches and spending all this money. Reinvest your money on your business.
Yep.
Who gives a shit? Be broke for 5 years. Who gives a fuck? 5 years, 10 years, be broke.
Yeah.
Reinvest everything you have, pay yourself minimal wage, and let it grow.
Yeah.
10 years time down the track, you'll have something, you'll look back and you're like, oh, wow, that's impressive. So when, some people have asked us, they're like, oh, yeah, fuck, you guys must make 5-10K a week, easy. Mate, we don't even make a fifth of that.
Yeah.
What we pay ourselves less than what we pay our staffs.
Yeah.
Our staff, sorry. And people just would not believe us.
Yeah.
They don't believe us. But that's where it all came from. And that's how we got to the point where we're like, okay, forget the shiny shit. Let's hone in on what we're good at. And what we're good at is relationships, creative ideas, and doing things that most people just don't have the balls to do.
Yeah.
Because we came from nothing anyway. What are we going to lose? If I can go back to nothing, who cares?
Yeah.
Start again.
We've got our skill.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. We've got our skill. And I say that to Danny all the time. We can take as many risks as we want, because at the end of the day, we've got our skill. What's to stop us from working out of our garage again?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
It's universal.
So what drives you guys?
I think for Danny, he'd probably say family.
I'd say my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'd say my daughter for sure. I think I was very oddly enough, my daughter came around the time that we actually went to that Kerwin Ray convention, and it almost felt like everything was happening at that same time in my life. My wife gave birth, and it almost was the click of a finger. You know what I mean? It made sense. It made sense why I was doing what I was doing. It wasn't for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I think you and I'm not sure if we had this chat last week, but if we don't strive for our kids to be better than us and to create a better future for the next generation, then we're just going around in circles.
Yeah. We did have that chat.
Yeah, we did, and it's ridiculous. That's right. We will talk. I'm not going to touch on that actually, because I just remembered why we were talking about it. There may or may not be some protests going on in America right now that brought the conversation up. But if we can either go around in circles and have this really bullshit mentality of everyone's against us, or we can really make our youth better than what we are, and then grow, make it generational. We see these really super successful people where they've got trust funds and blah blah blah, and it's all generational wealth. But have to start from somewhere.
Yeah,
you don't just grow up successful or be born successful. You know what I mean? You got to work at it.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's where my motivation came from.
I've always had a bit of a vision. I like flexibility in life. I love to be out on the water. I love to fish. I love to go on holidays and do all that sort of stuff. And I just feel like if I work my bloody ass off in my younger years, why can't I do the things that I want to do full time by the age of 40, 45? And I'm probably going to have a family soon, hopefully. I've got a girlfriend. And, I just don't want to have a financial stress with a relationship. I think that's a big impact on a relationship as well when there's financial stress involved. We know that firsthand with our family. So
it ended ours.
yeah, it ended ours. So I think I looked at my parents and then I thought I never want to go through that financial pressure. So if I can just do well and do the things I love doing, what more do you want in life? You know, you got a great relationship, you know, you enjoy your hobbies and you don't have to worry about money.
I think that's so awesome because people get so fixated on getting to the end. And actually, if they have a load of money at the end, that's success. Whereas for me personally, and it sounds like you guys are aligned with this as well, it's actually what does the business or what does the journey enable you to do and what are you soaking up in that time? And then actually you're even better off at the end regardless of your bank account. Like it's a Brucey bonus if you can't, you know, you don't have to work and you can do tough laps on the harbour. But in terms of what you've absorbed over that journey, that's actually the gold.
100%.
What is the end?
Well, I say this to Danny all the time.
Exactly.
He says to me, where do you want to be? What's your main goal? What is success to you? And I tell him all the time, success is flexibility.
Yeah.
If I can actually wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm not tied down to that salon, I can actually go with my wife or my partner and my kids and go on a summer holiday. But I've got a great team at home that I know that run their shops or run my shops, our shops, to the best of their ability. That's success.
We had an argument about this, didn't we?
100% we had it.
Was it Saturday or Friday?
Friday.
Yeah, we had an
Because
argument.
I said that and you said you
I said no. I think that's bullshit.
you didn't say it's bullshit. You said I think if you think that's achievable, you're dreaming. That's what you said. I said that's very achievable.
I did say that.
I
You're
think
right.
we're halfway there.
See,
Leave it on a prayer.
See what I said to Maddie, and I want to touch on this because I said to him, I think the more successful you become, the less freedom you actually have, because you've got so many things going on. You need to nurture all of them.
See, this is where Danny and I disagree.
If I can jump in, I think it's different though, because I think if you love what you do, you don't mind being busy doing what you love doing.
No, but he wants to be on the water.
I don't. No. That's wrong.
But you can still run businesses from the water.
100%.
You can. I've just got a different outlook.
Look, what I think what it is
Is that why we sat you at opposite ends of the table?
This is great.
Pretty much.
mate. If we open 5 or 6 blade and barrels, okay, and we run them exactly the way Concord runs, and they've got their managers, they know what they're doing, they're taking care of their clients. You basically just need to make sure that you're seeing everything from the outside in. I don't see how it's impossible.
Can I tell you what really bothers me the most about it is the fact that I have this crazy guilt that my staff are working and I'm not working.
But you're providing them that ability to work.
I am. But
Take
But
that into
who's to say
consideration.
that why do we both have to be on a summer holiday?
listen, it could be a psychological thing. It could be my fault. It could all just be in my head, right?
I think it's in your
a
head.
figment of my imagination. But
Yeah, the guilt. You just.
But it's a
you
guilt.
feel
It's
bad.
because people are working, right? There's 20, 30 of my staff working their asses off, and I'm sitting there fishing for kingfish.
But you're taking care of them.
I know you're providing that opportunity for them.
You're taking care of them. You're paying them well. They're happy in their environment. Okay. They don't have to worry about bills. They don't have to worry about paying rent. They don't have to worry about all of these things because
You've done that.
Done or doing?
Doing.
Okay, doing. Exactly what I'm trying to get at.
Doing.
Okay. Now, if you're on the water, you're not doing anything. You're not growing the business. You're not working on helping keep these people in jobs.
But you're working on you.
Now, listen, we could say, it's only been a day, it's like only a day or whatever, but it becomes a habit. Okay. The less you work, the less you feel like you have to work and you create a habit. Okay. And if your habit becomes whatever it is, who cares? Gambling, fishing, drugs, it's all the same shit. It's an addiction. Okay.
Yeah.
Our addiction right now is work.
Yeah.
If you transfer that addiction to something else like fishing or lifestyle, something's neglected, and that's work.
I agree with you. But at the same time, I'm not saying flexibility is me switching off and not caring
I was
about
going to
the
ask
business.
when you talk about flexibility, are you switching off?
No. Well, I'm switching off mentally. I'm getting away. I'm recharging my batteries, but then I'm coming back to the same business but a fresh mind.
I feel like going away and fishing for that king. You're working on yourself and you're actually going back into the business with a clearer head so you can actually be better in that business as well. I think we neglect to sort of, take the opportunity to work on ourselves. Working on the business is one thing, but working on ourselves is something we need to do as well.
Completely.
I've got a feeling Adrian's.
Can you not do that 2 days a week?
I actually like, to be honest, I love where both of you are at, and I think this is why it's worked for you guys, because you can challenge each other and you can talk. You've both got different levels, but you've both got the same vision of where you want to get to.
This is us every day.
Every moment.
Every single day in that bloody shop. I'm cutting hair on that side, he's cutting hair on that side, and we're just going bang, 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 bang. But why can't you do that? What? And you think you're right? Why do you think you're right?
Then get the customers involved as well.
People don't come for the haircut.
No, they come for the fireworks.
Don't be fooled, man. This is main event. This is some HBO shit, right?
And they think we're just about to end our friendship.
No.
We're not brothers anymore. That's it. These guys are going to break up in the middle of the salon while this guy's cutting my hair.
Until Matt turns around and says, "Hey, what do you want to grab for lunch?" Argument.
So on the customer side of things,
Yep.
have you ever said no to a client request?
Oh,
all
my
the
God.
time.
All the time.
And what was it?
I did it on Saturday.
Oh, really?
I've got.
I did it
the perfect
yesterday.
one. No, I've got a better one. Keep going. If you want to elaborate, go. But I've got a better one.
No, you go for it.
No. Let's work up to that then.
Okay. How about you do yours?
Well, a client came in yesterday and she basically said to me, "Oh, I'm thinking of cutting my hair off and cutting a nice bob." And I said, "Well, that's great, but I just want to let you know that it's probably not going to suit you." And she's like, "Oh, okay, why do you say that?" I said, "Because of your face shape."
Yeah.
I said, I like to cut bobs on people that have more of an oval style, more of an oval face shape.
And you look like David Coulthard.
And you basically look like a soccer ball. No, I didn't say that. But no, I mean,
But you insinuated it.
pretty much. But look, as a hairdresser,
And how did she go with the feedback?
she loved it.
Did she appreciate it?
Of course she did. Because if I didn't give her that feedback and I cut a bloody bob on her and she's got a round face, she's going to look like a soccer ball.
Yeah.
So
Worse, beach ball.
I basically said to her, "Look, you don't have that face shape that will complement that haircut." So no,
And how about from a guy? From a guy, have you ever turned down a haircut?
Oh, here we are.
a lot.
Here we are.
Is it your time?
That's over to me now.
Over to Danny.
Yep. This is a beaut. This one's great. I had a really good friend of mine recommend one of his university mates and sent him in, and he had a full-blown mullet.
Malay.
But we're not talking the ones that you see now. We're talking the
Malay.
ones that you. Oh, I'm generalizing here, but I'm allowed to say this because I'm Lebanese.
Full from the area.
Yeah, punch bowl mullet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
One of those just filthy. Yeah,
Pretty much
dirty,
like every footballer
Yeah.
at the moment.
drug dealer, football, whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
Who cares? Regardless, it's irrelevant. He came in, he goes, "What I want you to do is I want you to just give me a mullet." And I took one look at him and I said, "All right, I'm going to sit down for this."
He grabbed the stool.
I grabbed my stool, I sat down, I eyeballed him, and I said, "What do you do for work, man?" He goes, I'm studying marketing." I go, "Interesting. Okay, how long you got left?" He goes, 6 months. I go, "Do you think that anyone is going to fucking hire you with a mullet?" And he froze because he's like, "Is this guy actually talking to me like this?" I said, "Okay, answer the question." He goes, I go, "Listen, I own this place. I go, if you walked into my shop and I own a fucking marketing firm and you said, 'Hey, I want this job,' and then I've got 10 other people in the line that don't have a mullet that want the job, you're not getting the fucking job." I go, "So no, I'm not going to cut your fucking mullet. If you want a mullet, you can go somewhere else. If you want a really good haircut that I can recommend you that's going to suit you, stay seated and
get you a job.
I'll cut your hair."
Yeah.
And
What did he do?
he sat down, he shut up, and he let me cut his hair, and he's still.
Did he let you drive? He let you.
Let me
He
go.
then just let you decide on what.
This is where it gets really amazing. This is where the story gets fucking incredible, right? This guy was so unhappy with what he was doing in life, and he had no fucking idea. He had no idea. The haircut did not change his life, mind you, but I think it kind of may have sparked something in him. Okay, because when I took that off, he had that same haircut since he was a kid, and he said to me, he goes, "I don't think anything else will suit me."
You know why? he parted ways with his toxic friend,
Which is his mullet, by the way.
his mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
I thought it was Zuzu.
he, all that. He had his haircut. He fell in love with it. The compliments that he got from it, it grew into something incredible because a couple of months later, he came in and he said, guess what? And I'm like, what? He goes, I'm not doing marketing anymore. What are you doing? He goes, I'm studying to be a personal trainer because I've always wanted to do it. I just never had the guts to do it because my family wanted me to go to university. Fast forward 5, 6 years.
Yeah, probably about that.
Yep. He's still my client.
Really?
He's won bodybuilding competitions.
Wow.
He's a full-blown bodybuilder and he is in love with what he does. He runs his own business and I've never seen a guy happier with what he's doing.
So pretty much, if you want to take people out of Punch Bowl and make them successful, all you need to do is cut their mullet off.
Or if you,
It's like Samson's hair.
it's incredible. But if you
It's
want to get off
amazing.
the antidepressants, just get a good hairdresser.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot to.
It's definitely worked for me.
I think so. The whole his self-esteem obviously went through the roof.
He just changed
Because he looked good.
He changed.
Yeah.
He genuinely changed. I know it sounds so shallow. I understand how shallow it sounds because you know, it's just physical,
Yeah.
right? It's not actually who you are, but he changed.
But I think it plays a part, though.
It sparked something to change him internally. You know what I mean? And I don't think that would have happened if he just kept going on his path.
So what'd you do? Did you give him a cropped bob?
Oh man, he looks good.
Yeah.
He looks good. He looks good. He's had the same haircut for 6 years, but he still looks good.
Yeah.
Needless to say, he likes sticking to shit.
Do you think the whole renaissance of the beard has also fallen really nicely in line with the barbershop and that culture and
Yeah, well, that-
and the manscaping and the grooming and all that? Do you think that's really helped?
Yeah, I think that goes back to the whole 50s influence.
Yeah.
When that whole rustic, vintage kind of 50s feel came into things. you know?
Gentleman.
Yeah. It was just a culture.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great segue, boys, into Ol'Bastards. We can't not talk about Ol'Bastards.
No, we can't.
OB,
We can't.
the pain in our backsides.
My Achilles heel.
I use your product. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
think it's really good.
Thank you.
You got any on today?
Yeah.
I'll just check it.
Just down here.
I said to him, has he got a receipt for the haircut he had yesterday?
It doesn't.
I'm
look
gonna tell
you're-
Nico that.
It actually doesn't look like you're wearing our product in your hair.
No?
No.
You got headphones on. I haven't showered in 3 days.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So tell me, what's the sort of thoughts behind it? Why did it start out? It's an amazing concept. It looks cool. It looks fucking amazing.
Thank you.
You guys look amazing on the website as well, by the way. If you guys haven't checked it out, what's the website?
Thank you. Ol'Bastards.com. OL, not OLD.
Yeah.
A lot of people get that confused. Where did it start? How did it start? Very, very soon after we opened up Handmade at Canterbury. We just kept having reps come into our shop and they're trying to offload their products and, take these and take these samples and try this out and try that out. And we'd get through a whole range of products and we're like, okay, that's great. We'd find one good product here and then we'd go to a whole different brand and we'd find one good product there. And then we'd go to, L'Oreal and we'd find one good product there. There was no complete range that had 5 phenomenal products. They had one great product, one shit product, one great product, one shit product. And it just bugged the shit out of me because we're very minimal people. We love minimal, right? So if you look at our shelves, everything just looks so clean.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate having 10, 15 brands on the shelf because you like one product. So we made a joke. We're like, oh, fuck, man, we should just make our own. And
We did.
that was
That was the spark.
a deposit on a home.
That was the spark.
And then how'd you do it?
And then what I did.
Yeah, he's right. That was the spark.
You got excited.
I got very, very, very aroused. I then found a formulator who was the best formulator at the time in the whole country. Like he created fudge.
Okay.
Fudge, one of the biggest things to come out of Australia.
Burnt that bridge.
Yeah, it burnt that bridge bad. But yeah, he was the creator of that. Okay, which was a huge success story. We found him. He created a couple of products for us. He gave us the option of not paying for the formulation and then him taking a percentage of every single sale for the rest of eternity, or 25 grand per product to formulate. And we're like, oh my God, we want like 8 products.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's a lot of money, but we bit the bullet and we actually did it.
Yeah.
We paid for it and we own it.
But we
own
also-
all the IP.
We also had a vision, and we saw the barbershops coming in, and we saw that whole culture moving into Australia. So we thought, okay, well, with all the barbershops on the rise, and then all these, men basically moving to barbershops, we need to basically capitalize on that. And how are we going to capitalize on that if we're just in this salon? What can we do? How can we? Sounds corny and cliche, but how can we make money overnight
Without doing anything.
without doing anything?
So tell me, Matt, how long did it take us to formulate the product?
It took 3.5 years.
To formulate.
What do you
Three
mean?
and
When
a
you,
half years.
what do you mean when you say formulate? Because you mentioned fudge, which I used, and I wasn't a massive fan of it. I hate all the stuff that leaves just an inordinate amount. You almost slip off your pillow in the morning. I hate that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say formulate? What are you doing?
Formulate is like a recipe.
Right.
Okay, so you're a chef, you're in your kitchen,
Yep.
and you chuck 1 gram of salt, 1 gram of sugar, a sprinkle of paprika. Sounds like a terrible recipe.
What are you so far?
What are you cooking?
What are you
here?
making,
What are you
man?
making? Basically, what his job, he doesn't make any products.
Right.
He doesn't physically get the raw ingredients and puts them together. Okay,
Right.
that's a manufacturer. A formulator is someone who sits in his office, gets a pen and a paper, and writes a recipe for what brief that we give him. So we basically said, okay, well, this is what we want. We gave him a very, very, very strict guideline of what we thought our product should be. And he would write something up. He would send it to a manufacturer. The manufacturer would whip it up, and then they'd send it to us. We'd test it. We'd hate it. We'd send it back. He'd tweak it, and we'd hate it again. And we hated it for 3.5 years. And we're talking, I know this sounds ridiculous, but we're talking, we'd get a sample every week for 3.5 years.
Once a week.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say, did you compromise near the end? But clearly you didn't.
Never.
No.
Not once.
What didn't you like about it? Why did you keep sending it back?
I've got a feeling it was my childhood. Our
Feeling
OCD.
inadequate.
Yeah, the feeling of inadequacy. It had to be perfect. It had to be perfect. We hated hair looking like it had product in it.
Yeah.
Like New Wave.
Correct.
Oh, man, that was
Exactly.
the best.
What you said before, you shouldn't have a hairstyle, well, unless you're actually specifically going for that, but it should be as natural as possible with the right amount of hold. You want maximum hold, but you don't want it to look like there's anything in there either. That's actually creating that hold.
Yeah.
And everything that we were putting in the hair, phenomenal hold, but you'd have that waxy look. That would just drive us up the wall.
Or the clumps. Because
Exactly.
it's too much, yeah.
Now, the issue that we faced was, number one, if you want the hold, you have to have the wax. If you don't have that waxy hold, if you don't have the waxy look, then you don't get the hold.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, well, fucking hell.
Catch 22s.
Yeah, what do we do?
Everywhere.
Now, this is where everything changed. We wanted to create a volume dust. Now, volume dust is pretty much, you put a little bit of powder in your hair. It looks like you've just got out of the beach. It's all rough and textured, and it looks like there's absolutely nothing in there because it's literally a powder. It's like talcum powder. It's created out of like starch and just these, basically dehydrates your hair to make it look nice and dry. We thought, how about we mix the dust into the clay? That way we can have that really rough textured look, but still have the hold of the clay. And we told our formulator at the time, it was like, oh, well, maybe you could. I've never done it. Maybe you can do that. And that was it. We put a little bit of that in there, and it just changed everything. It changed everything. The product it morphed into something that had never been done.
So you mentioned earlier when you own the IP because you paid,
Stupid amounts of money.
some coin for each one. Do you own that bit of IP? Because if he's never done that before, and he was questioning it, do you own that kind of
No, and I'll tell
that
you what.
recipe?
I'll take it, Matt. I'll take this one.
Yeah, go for it.
It's like the first person that put halloumi
Take
on
it
a
all,
burger.
man. Take it all.
Yeah.
Take it out.
Hair products, when it comes to styling products, mate, to try and get a patent for something like that,
Nightmare.
forget about it.
Right, okay.
Just don't bother. Because all they have to do, you'll spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars securing a patent to be so specific. And then all someone has to do is just
Tweak it.
tweak it
Yeah.
by
Okay.
the slightest little bit. And it has such a similar look or feel.
Yeah.
And you're fucked.
Yeah. Okay.
You've just wasted all that money.
Yeah.
Because they've just copied you.
But there's a 1% difference between our product and any other
Exactly.
product on the market.
Right.
You know, they basically share the same ingredients. It's how much you put of that ingredient, which is going to change the usability of it, pretty much.
Exactly. And then once again, it all comes down to branding. No one gives a shit about your product. It's all about the branding.
Looks good, smells good. Well, when people go up to a shelf, they're looking at it.
They've never tried it before.
They've never tried it, so it looks good. Pick it up. What's the first thing you do? You open it. Does it smell good? Smells good. Feels good. Looks good. Smells good. Feels good.
Says water soluble.
Done.
Great. Great. It washes
Done.
out.
And that was big with Ol'Bastards. We
Huge.
said that from the beginning. We said if it looks good on the shelf, okay, they pick it up, they smell it, it smells good, and then they touch it. No, they touch it and it feels strong, feels hard, and that basically to them that firmness means strength, hold,
Exactly.
pretty much. And people love strong hold products. So we're like, okay, well, even though we know we can make a strong product by the viscosity feeling really, really soft, we can make a stupidly strong product with the viscosity of it really, really soft. We need to make that feel hard so that in their mind, psychologically, they're like, okay, it feels hard, therefore it's got to be strong. So everything that we did with Ol'Bastards was thought through
Thoroughly.
you know, but they were the touch points.
They were.
Interesting.
So you guys might hate me for this.
No.
But you guys did change formula
We did.
Yeah.
because I did have it originally in the tin.
Correct.
Yep.
And then it went to the screw cap.
Yep.
And the first one was harder and the second one was softer.
Yep.
But the second one had better hold, I think.
Yep.
And it washed out easier.
Do you wanna
This
know
is why we burnt a bridge.
This was the whole bridge.
We don't like burning
process.
bridges, but this was a good reason.
That's a lie.
Okay. We don't burn
We got a
bridges
history of burning
anymore.
bridges, motherfuckers.
We're from Canterbury.
I'll let you go again because you like
Yeah.
talking. So.
I do like talking. It was our packaging. It wasn't the product.
we were so happy.
Because it wasn't sealing.
Correct.
Yeah, well, we were so happy with what our formulator gave us. So we spent 3.5 years formulating this amazing product, and he gave it to us in this like generic kind of round, twisty plastic thing that it's just a typical jar,
Perfectly sealed.
perfectly sealed. And then we'd use them. We'd be like, oh my god, this is the best thing in the world. Let's go to production. So we printed 10,000 tins from overseas, and we brought them over, and we went into production, and they rocked up, and we put our finger in it. Like, oh shit, why is it so different? And then we realized, hold on, we were getting samples in a plastic jar. We are now manufacturing in an aluminium tin.
With no sealing.
Well, we're talking temperature here. So we're talking about at what rate is the temperature dropping? What happens to the moisture of the product? What happens to all of these factors, It's no longer a twist jar. So therefore, the moisture of the product is actually escaping, right? So that specific wax that we're talking about was over 40% water. So what happens if all that moisture is escaping out of the edges because it's not sealed, right? 40% of that water content is now gone.
Yeah.
Therefore, you've got 60% of wax. What's wax? Pick up Vaseline. Put Vaseline in your hair and tell me how it feels.
We've all been there.
And that was the main issue. So then we turned back to our formulator and we said,
hair on
man,
your head.
this is wrong. Like, what's wrong with our product? And he said, well, I think it's your tin. I think your tin, your packaging's the problem. And I said, couldn't you tell me that before I did 10,000 pieces of it, man? Like, fuck. Couldn't you tell me that when I showed you the actual tin and I said, this is our packaging. How cool does it look? And he's like, yeah, it looks great. It's like, really?
And at that point, the bridge burnt.
The bridge burnt.
The bridge burnt.
The bridge burnt.
It cost us a lot of money. A lot of
It,
money.
it hurt us. It hurt us really bad. But you know what? It wasn't only the money. When you're working on something for 3 to 4 years and you're ready to go to market and you're just so happy that all that pain and suffering is over, and then bang, you get hit, and then you can't even go to market.
It hurts.
But then you've gone and you've actually contacted a contract manufacturer and you've spent all your money on manufacturing that product, and you've gone and wasted 10,000 pieces of packaging, and you've gone and spent all that money, and then they're like, okay, well, you can't even take that to market because of this little.
And you've already built up the brand as well.
You've done everything.
Yeah.
We've run campaigns. We're in magazines. We're doing photo shoots. We've had a launch party. We've done everything, you know? So it was kind of a kick in the guts, man.
I'm going to blow your mind here, Age. You said that the products were different from the first rectangle tin that wasn't a screw top to the round tin. They're identical in ingredient.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I did pick up that tin, I was like, oh, fuck, they must have made it like last forever because there's no way this is going to seal. I actually thought that because I was thinking about if I put in a toiletry or something else like that and something leaks and goes into it and wets it down, it's going to turn to shit.
Sorry, continue.
No, that's it.
I think we were so consumed in Ol'Bastards. We were so consumed in formulating and branding and packaging and all that sort of shit. We didn't even take a step back and look and be like, okay, how about we put water in the tin and then tip the tin over and see if any water comes out?
Yep.
You know,
that would have saved a lot of money and a lot of time.
That would have saved a lot of money.
That would have been a really good exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't fail, you don't learn.
Yeah, 100%.
So
But we've been kicked in the guts a million times. We've tried to go to market a million times with Ol'Bastards.
to our benefit, really. Like it's all a good thing. It's literally all a good thing because it's gotten us to where we are with the product at the moment. Because if we didn't learn all that, where would we actually be? Because who knows? We may have signed a super big distribution deal and not known the risks, sent off a whole bunch of product. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
That would have been absolutely catastrophic. And oddly enough, we actually did have a distribution deal lined up. We had the meeting for that and we stopped it in its tracks.
Yeah.
Because of that. If that we're talking, man, if we signed that deal, I can't explain it. Like that we would have that would have sunk us.
Yeah, that would have damaged the brand so much that we wouldn't have
So
it.
how is Ol'Bastards now?
I reckon this is the first time we've gone to market. This is our first real crack at Ol'Bastards, and it's gaining really, really good momentum.
What do you mean this is the first time? Like
Well,
when?
well, after this whole 3 to 4 years of trying to get to market with packaging problems, and our main focus was basically to create airtight packaging that would fit our branding, you know. And we spent so long on trying to create this perfect packaging that it took so long to get to market. So now we've created this packaging where, okay, well, this guy was giving us samples in these plastic containers and they were perfect. But I don't want to put a product out in a plastic container. I just feel like aluminium looks better and there's more printing capabilities and all that
embossment.
sort of stuff. So we thought, okay, well, then what the hell are we going to do? So we're like, okay, well, let's create like an aluminium tin and then let's have like this insulated like plastic part. So the product goes into the plastic insulated area and then you've just got pretty much the aluminium tin as a sleeve. So then that took freaking so long to create. So then this is pretty much our first proper crack. We've got the best product, we've got the packaging, we've got the branding, we've got the manpower on the road now as well. So we've got a full-time rep and he basically just spends all day, every day going into barbershops and selling. And then now we've got a marketing manager as well who takes care of all the social media and stuff. So this is pretty much as of February. I would say that's the beginning of Ol'Bastards. And then we got hit with COVID.
I was going to ask, how did COVID affect you guys?
Mate, well, the thing is because, we thought salons were going to shut. So we were ready to go to market in February and we're like, sweet, let's smash it. And then all of a sudden COVID hits and they're like, okay, we're probably going to shut salons down. So we're like, oh my God.
Another hit.
Another one.
We caused COVID.
It was us.
It was us.
We attracted COVID.
We put the Mickey on the world's
100%.
back. Do you know
It
what
was
I mean?
us. It was Ol'Bastards.
This
Ol'Bastards.
poor bugger. We had just hired someone who I thought was going to be an incredible rep, a great face for our brand. And man, he just started. And he just started gaining some traction after a couple of weeks and then bang, lockdown hit. And we're like, you have to be joking.
But
You
Danny and
have
I
to be
then
joking.
sat down and we said, man, what the hell do we do? What do we do? Like, barbershops are not open. We've spent all this money on branding and all this sort of stuff. And Danny looked at me and he goes, just keep going. We just have to keep going.
We've been through worse.
We've been through worse. Like, what have we got to lose?
Pandemic.
You know? But that comes back to having that kind of
Fuck your pandemic.
fuck your pandemic. We are no.
It's conspiracy.
That's a whole nother hour.
But this comes back to having our skill set. You know, if we fail with Ol'Bastards, who gives a shit? Because we've still got our skill. So everything we do, everything we risk, it's not that we don't care. It's just that we don't have fear in us.
Yeah.
You know, everything we do, they're calculated risks. We know that we've always got something to fall back on. We've got a good recipe and we know what works. We know what works with our industry. We know our industry back to front. If we just stick to our gut and do what the industry is screaming for, we'll be fine. We've always got our skill. So we can always fall back on it. So I think that's why we do things. We start new things and we go ahead with them and we invest money into them because we know we've always got something to fall back on.
It's a fucking great mindset.
Yeah.
You inspire me, Matt.
Thank you.
Can I just bring up our before you go any further? We've got a let's call her a branding manager.
Yeah.
She pretty much she's our graphic designer, but she's also our brand manager.
Mm-hmm.
I did not understand what a brand was when we first started the business.
Mm-hmm.
We have a business, and then everyone kept talking brand. What the fuck what's a brand? Isn't a brand a business? And it never really sunk in until I met our graphic designer. I'll call her our brand manager. And she said, okay, so, and I said, you know, you're going to do our logo. And she goes, yeah. And she goes, then we'll do, you know, the brand identity. And I'm like, what the
And I'll butt in there.
fuck is going on there?
No, you said, let's do a logo. And
Yep.
she said, okay, I'll put a proposal together.
Yep.
And we're
She
like,
did say
yeah,
that.
all right, sweet.
Yep.
Let's
You're
put
right.
a proposal together. And we left and there was half an hour, 45-minute meeting or whatever. Went home, cop an email the next day. Go.
This exorbitant amount of money for a logo. And then it said, you know,
Brand
identity,
color.
fee proposal was like fucking $4,500. I'm like, whoa, man, I want a logo.
I just wanted a
But
fucking
hold
logo.
on.
a logo,
In
man.
this email, it had logo, fonts, colors, color palettes,
Secondary logo.
tone of voice, all of these things. And we're like, what? You're
fuck
going to
is a
tell
tone
me
of
how to
voice?
talk in my shop?
Literally tone of, like words that we need to use
Yeah.
over and over again. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, man? Anyway, we called her because number one, I was furious at the price. Number two, I wanted to know more.
Yeah.
And, you know, she picked up the phone in her usual hot self, and she's very attractive, by the way, and still is. Please, I hope she's not watching. She opened our eyes to the fact that your brand is only as good. So your business is only as good as your brand.
Yeah.
If you do not have guidelines to adhere to, then what are you doing? You're just fucking free flowing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now our brands have fonts. Everything is exactly the same. You know, when you're looking
Has to be in alignment.
Yeah, when you're looking at McDonald's, they don't just use different fonts every day. They've got the same fucking shit, the same colors, the same tone of voice in every single commercial is configured in the same way. You just
and
know
done for a reason.
They don't even have to say McDonald's and you know it's a McDonald's ad.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Nike. They don't even have to put
The swoosh on it.
No, they actually put the swoosh, but they don't have to put Nike. You just know what it is because they've established that strong brand, and that was, I think, the birth of understanding what a brand actually is. And now we apply it to absolutely everything. You can even apply it to your life. Do you know what I mean? Because your own personal brand, you can have your personal brand of who you are, and if you can stay in alignment with your brand. And do not veer for fucking anybody. If they don't like it, it's okay, because that means they're going to suit another brand. You need to have people that come to you that align with your brand. If they align with your brand, that's it.
Yeah.
They're staying. They're not going anywhere. Okay, they have to, and that's what it means to find your target market. remember back at school days, like, you have to find your target market. Business studies, right? You got to find your target market. So what the fuck is a target market? Oh, he's 35 years old and fucking has spiky hair and, you know, went to this school or whatever.
Sounds like Daniel.
Yes.
Does.
and that's what it is. That's what it is. We create an avatar, okay? And when that person is, you know, we give him a job, we give him a name, we give him an age, how many kids he's got, if he's married, if he's not married, if he's single, if he's entrepreneur, self-employed, whatever.
Sounds like The Social Dilemma, that movie. So, what's next for the Somaramies?
Ooh, another blade and barrel, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick to the goal. 1 a year. I have to go back to my original, basically my original goal of trying to step back and have that bit of freedom. So pretty much I think once we open our next shop, we take that to basically what we're doing at Concord, so the level that's at. Once we get it to that, I think that's when Danny and I will step back from Handmade Salon.
Yep.
And then that's when we'll open shop number 3. And then shop number 3, I think that's going to be a lot easier. I think the second one is the hardest. The second blade and barrel is going to be the hardest. But then I think 3, 4, 5, 6, I think that's going to be easy.
Yeah, it's more.
Once we step back from Handmade Salon and we've got all of our energy focused on blade and barrel, I think it'll be shitloads easier.
So we're going for Tony and Guy status?
Listen, I said
Tony
this
and
to
Guy,
you on the weekend.
Tony and Guy has been around for how long?
I've got to say, and I said this to you on the weekend.
Yeah.
Mate, so much respect for that fucking
100%.
family. It's out of control.
Yeah.
Because what they've done and then made it stick for how long? Like, they still haven't.
But
gone
it's
broke.
brilliant. But think about it. It's brilliant because they've built this perfect brand and you know it to be prestigious, right? Premium. But what have they done? They've added education to that, their own academy. In order to work into it in our shop, you have to go through our academy. You have to have a specific type of training. It's exactly what we're doing.
Exactly. So really, we get a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah.
But this is 20 years ago.
That was
These guys
so.
have
They're
done that.
pioneers.
Man, that was so far ahead of their time.
No? Yeah.
That was so far
then
ahead of their time.
You ask somebody, what do you think the premium franchise is in hairdressing? And they'll probably 90% of the time turn around and say Tony and Guy.
Well, there's nothing else. What
It's
could-
true.
think
There is
about
no
it.
other brand like
what
that.
would you say? You can't think of anything.
They're very expensive as well
For
for the top stylist.
I mean, they are.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for them because at the same time, we're in a country here where, you know, we're only, 25 million strong or weak, that you are limited to how much talent you have.
Yeah.
So they have stores absolutely everywhere. You can't possibly have that much good talent.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's impossible. And I think that's where in Australia, they're not as strong as they are in Europe.
Yeah.
In Europe, they've got copious amounts of people, copious amounts of talent. They've got so much to choose from and at a much cheaper rate too, mind you.
Yeah.
So, you know, the business model just works.
Yeah.
Whereas in Australia, you know, our wages are high. It's just hard.
It's harder to be successful.
Did you you mentioned about the UK and America being such huge influences on style and trends. I know that obviously chefs draw a lot of their inspiration from traveling around the world, dining out in other places, and they bring that back and they make it their own. Did you guys do something similar to that? Did you travel and kind of get a sense for what good looked like? And
Absolutely.
did.
Yeah?
We did.
Yeah. And I think London. When we went to London, I think that was a very big influence.
Did you hang out in the city of London?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We stayed in Shoreditch, but
I was lucky actually. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law actually lived in London, so we stayed with them. So we didn't really get a tourist feel.
Yeah.
We were actually locals.
Yeah.
And that, I think, changed everything.
we only knew that the barbershops were coming through because of Instagram. So like we were connected to the UK through social media. So we only knew that there was a whole wave of barbers and this whole men's culture coming through because of social media. But then when we actually went to London, we're like, holy shit, there's a barbershop on every corner. What the
And they're
hell?
all busy.
And they're all busy. What
Yeah.
the hell is going on? Because at home, we've only got hair salons.
Yeah.
So we hadn't even seen like a 50s style barbershop. Yeah. So we don't even know about the culture. We've seen it on social media, but we don't know that, it was that big. So we went to London. We're like, holy shit, man, they're good. And they know what and the fit outs are good. And everything about it is good. And I think when we went to London and we saw that, we were like, fuck, man, we need to do something about this. We need to do something about this.
It sparked something, didn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, it did. But I think we tried to do that within handmade for a very long time, but we were just never true to, like, handmade wasn't a barbershop brand. So we didn't want to make it look like a barbershop or feel that way because we still had a strong female clientele.
Yeah.
So that's, and I think that's why Blade and Barrel was the step forward for us, because we knew it was a new identity, it was a new brand. We can do whatever we want with this brand, and I think that's what created Blade and Barrel and that whole culture.
Well, it definitely works, gents.
Yeah.
I think we're going to wrap it up there as well. John, you got anything else?
Give me 3 things that bug you that your customers do.
I'll let you go first.
Can I give 2?
You can give 2. You can
You
give
give
1.
7.
Okay. Don't brush their teeth.
Oh,
That fucks me right up the wall. I can close my eyes and tell you who's sitting in my chair by their breath.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's how you know that you've been doing it for so long that you know the smell of. Oh, that's that fruity motherfucker.
that's intimacy. That's intimacy on a new level with your customers.
Yep, that's it. That's him.
Okay, so don't brush teeth.
Oh, that's the biggest one.
Right.
I can't. And you know the weird thing? It gets even weirder. Since the start of COVID and the lockdown,
Yeah.
I have noticed more and more people not fucking brushing their teeth.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Is it because you're not going to the office?
You
Is
know
it
what
'cause
else
you're
I
staying home?
noticed? I'll tell you what, as soon as the weather started to get warmer, people's breath got worse.
Oh man,
Dehydration.
unreal.
It's another
unreal.
conspiracy.
It's huge. It's huge. Number two. Oh, number two. Don't shit in my fucking toilets at work.
There's this
Oh my
one girl
God.
that comes in on a
She
Saturday
just dumps them, doesn't she?
every single time.
Man,
We're
we've
like,
got a
hey,
50
100% she's going to know who she is.
when is X gonna come in and bog our toilet again?
Mate, we've got a 50 square meter shop.
Yeah.
Okay. You
You can smell it for that. Oh, that's nasty.
We are
Horrendous.
talking. And every time she walks in, she's like, "Guys, do you mind?"
If I go to the toilet, I'm
just
like, oh,
fucking
here we go.
Just go. Just
Here
get
we
over and
go.
done with. Matt, get the Glen 20 ready. Let's open the fucking bifold. Let's just get it sorted.
That's why the bifolds are there.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Number 3,
Number 3, go for it, Matty. All yours.
lack of punctuality.
Ooh. Oh, that's huge.
I hate that.
That's huge. But see, we've
It says
got
a lot
system.
about a person, though.
We've got a system. We've got a 10-minute cutoff. You rock up 10 minutes late and you're not getting a haircut.
Yeah.
There's no ifs. There's no buts. There's no, I feel sorry for you. Oh, you got your wedding on the weekend. Fuck you. You're not coming in.
See, I look deep. I look deep when someone rocks up late to an appointment.
Yep.
I'm like, you don't respect,
Don't respect
my
our
time.
Yeah.
Simple.
But you don't respect me also, because by you coming in late, I've told you that it really affects me, and I'm back to back.
Yeah.
So if I'm back to back, you rock up 10 minutes late, it's a domino. It eats into my half an hour lunch break on a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
I don't eat,
Yeah.
but they still continue to come late. So that to me is, I see it as disrespect.
It's really effective.
I was expecting like people being on the phone or turning up in sweaty gym gear. I mean, you've blew my mind with those 3 ones.
No,
they make
not at
sense,
all,
obviously.
Not at all. No, listen. People need to take phone calls. I'm not going to be naive in the fact that I think that everybody's just going to give me their half an hour. Like, people have jobs.
Do you look what they're on their phone? Do you look at their phone from behind and say, "Oh yeah, what's fucking going on here?"
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, 100%. I would too.
The best is when you're at the base and you're washing their hair and they're just like and bang like that. And you're like, really? Are you saying that right now to him?
Yes.
Are you saying that to him?
Oh man, we've got a whole nother hour of this shit. If we can do this again, I can get into things that clients have actually said to us.
Yeah, fucking
I reckon we do it in your show. I might come in for a little
Dude.
cutthroat shave. I
You
think.
should do
might
that.
Come in
You
for a
should
little.
do that. I think
And
you'd
Nico's
enjoy it.
good.
Last time I had one of them, the guy, I was lying back. He just put the towel on my face. This was in the CBD. Put the towel on my face. And he goes, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You okay?" And he goes, "Oh, I had a massive night last night." I'm like, "You have got a razor to my throat, man." And I sat there petrified. I came out unscathed, but my God, I never went back there.
Brand identity.
Can I give you some feedback as well for Blade and Barrel?
Yeah, please.
When I was in Italy,
Yep.
right, because Italy do have a lot of barbers.
Yep.
I had this shave where it was with mint, like a mint product that they put on your face, and they put the hot towel on, and then the steam and like really clears up your nose and everything, and makes it's like a peppermint thing, and it makes your skin pop.
Wow.
It's fucking fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And I've never had one here.
Do you
in
remember
Australia.
where you had it?
It was
Italy.
in Lucca, near the main part of Lucca. I can find out the
I was there. I went there.
yeah.
I went there, but I didn't go to many barbershops. If you can actually find that out, that'd be unreal.
It was amazing. It was really
cool.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, boys. Thank you very much for
Thanks
coming
for
in.
having us, mate.
Unreal.
How do people get hold of you? It sounds like you ladies, men of many hats. How do people get hold of you? You got websites and Instagram and stuff?
Mate, I think the majority of people now hit us up on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
through Blade and Barrel.
Yeah.
Barbers.
And handmade? Or just Blade and
So
Barrel?
yeah, Blade and Barrel Barbers is for the barbershop, and then Handmade Salon is our hair salon. And then if you want to buy some products, Ol'Bastards.com.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, gents.
Thanks, guys.
Unreal. Thank
Ciao.
you.
Beautiful.